And finally, after all the anticipation, Otto Addo has finally unveiled his 26-man list that would be going to the 2020 FIFA World Cup. Of course, today is the deadline given by FIFA to all teams, countries coming to the tournament to submit their list. And of course, the GFA and Otto Addo, they have finally unveiled the list. So that is what we'll be looking at in this. Remember, we told you in our daily countdown that, of course, we are going to bring you our opinion regarding the list. So welcome to Nigeria Super Fans Forum. We are here to look at or to dissect the team that Otto Addo will be taking to the 2022 FIFA World Cup. My name is Oluwafemi Ashaolu. Kayode, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Femi.
All right, so James Akwerebi is physically in the studio. James, you're welcome.
Thank you, Femi. Always a pleasure.
Okay, so finally, Kayode, I'll start with you. On our daily countdown today, we looked at the goalkeeping department, the worries that it has created for Otto Addo, and finally, I think we were clairvoyant. I think we saw what's going to happen. In that list, there is no Richard Ofori, there is no Joe Walcott. I think for me, I'm a bit sad that at least these are first two choices for Otto Addo, but unfortunately, they are not in the squad and they won't be going to the World Cup due to injuries. Kayode.
Yeah, Femi, I think that should be under the bridge by now. We are faced with the reality that those guys will not be available. So let's look at those who are going to be available and see where they have their individual strengths and their capacities, and see how everybody gets behind them. There's no point crying over split make. Nothing anybody can do about those players who are not here now. They are not, luckily in quote, they are not here because the coach did not like them, but they are forced to be dropped because of injury. So nobody can crucify the coach on this score. It is a fact. It is what it is. They are not here. We should look at the guys who are here now, Atizegi, Danlad, and Manaf, and see who do we think, in our own limited opinion now, because our opinion is limited, the coach's opinion is supreme. Who do we think should be in goal, and who should be the standing for the number one? That, I think, is the most important. And I think, given the circumstances that we find ourselves in, the coach has done the best he can under the circumstances. Atizegi is not new to the national team. He has been around the national team since, I think, 2017. Manav has been there. We saw him at the Killing Cup. Danlad, the under-23 goalkeeper, has always been around the national team too. So for me, I think they are as good as we can get under the circumstances that we find ourselves.
Okay, all right, Kayode, please still stay with us. James, I know that Otto Addo must have spoken with maybe doctors at Charlton Athletic for Walcott, and of course for Richard Ofori at Orlando Pirates. But how much of maybe disappointment do you think this is going to be? Like how they said, we have to move on, but you still have to admit that it must have been to some, because this time last week, of course, you will be thinking that, okay, these are going to be my first two choices, but unfortunately now, that hope has faded away.
Well, the list is out already, and we all knew what happened. If not for injury, these guys will be in the team, but as it is now, the two guys had to be drafted in, that's Manaf,
Abdul Manaf, of course, and Danlad Ibrahim.
For me, I feel the only part of the Black Stars, in terms of the department, might be the goalkeeping department, because these guys are very inexperienced, But who knows? Maybe one of them now might turn out to be the hero for them, because because we've seen it, Kayode to mention it
in our daily countdown earlier in the morning.
How Goalkeeper came and became the beautiful bride for the Argentine team, So, but for me, looking at the squad, I think I'm very happy that we have two home-based players going to the World Cup. I mean, I've always been an advocate.
Daniel Afriyie, exactly, and Ibrahim Danlad.
So because this is good news for the club side, because they know that if their players get to the World Cup, I mean, there's something that will come into the...
You're talking about the money.
Yes, it's still part of the whole setup,
But they deserve it.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Because Danlad is the under-23 goalkeeper.
Yes.
Yeah, the Black Meteors. Exactly. And of course, Afriye, there has been a campaign in England, in Ghana, that Daniel Afriye, even Sonny Badu, the popular gospel singer, has been campaigning for Daniel Afriye to be in the squad.
You know, I always mentioned, I remember in 1994, Nigeria went with the late Thompson Olia, and he played against Italy. You know, sometimes these guys, if you don't use these guys, I mean, you will not know how good these guys are. I find it's a big stage, the World Cup. No, but it doesn't, as long as he's going to play among experienced guys. How did Nigeria win the 2013 AFCON? We had home-based guys, Godfrey Obabuna, Sunday Umba. If you didn't give these guys the chance, I mean, you don't know what they can do. One thing about these guys, when you unleash them, I mean, they don't have anything to lose. They will get it and they will play their hearts out. So I'm very happy that these two guys at least made the squad. So for me, but it's a decent squad because these are some of the guys there. They are guys we expected, you know, to see the Daniel Martin, the Thomas Partey, the Ayew brothers, Inaki Williams, Tariq Lamptey, you know, all those guys.
No surprises about that.
So for me, it's now left for the coaches now to come up with a good squad that will take on the rest of the team in Group H.
So for you, it's not about, of course, Ashanti Kotoko and Out of Folk, they're going to get $10,000 every day that these players will be at the World Cup. Kayode, now let's talk about these goalkeepers. We have Abdul Manaf, we have Danladi Ibrahim, and of course we have Lawrence Adzigi. Now, remember Manaf at the Kirin Cup. Of course, he made saves in the penalty shootout in that third place playoff against Chile. And we said, wow, this is good. This is going to be a good option for Otto Addo. And if you also look at Lawrence Adzigi, he's also been in the squad, like you said. Then Danladi Ibrahim is a new sensation. He's doing well for his local club in Ghana. He's the under-23 goalkeeper, the Black Meteors now. I think if you look at these three, I'm sure you are very familiar with them. Who do you think, who would you prefer, or who would you advise that the goalkeeper trainer in the Black Star should maybe pick as Wallacott's replacement?
Let me say straight up that it will be a straight fight between Adzigi and Manaf. And this is because if the two players have contrasting Manaf is a taller player, and that's always a consideration when you talk about goalkeepers. But then, Adzigi for me has more presence in goal. He's the kind of player, he's the kind of goalkeeper that you see a striker will come face to face with, and you're scared because he has that physically intimidating presence. So for me, if I have to vote, I will pick Adzigi ahead of Manaf. For the girl, and he has been doing excellently well for St. Gallen in Switzerland too. If you follow the trajectory of these players, it is because we have not looked in their direction, because we thought we had a Wallacott save in goal and we have a
Ofori
backing him up. That's why we have not put the searchlight on these players. But on their own, they have a very, very good record with their respective club sides. Manaf is doing well for Cars, and Adzigi has also been excellently well for St. Gallen. So for me, if I have to pick like you asked, I will pick Adzigi in goal, then Manaf as backup, and the under-23 goalkeeper Danlad will be on the bench.
Okay, Kayode, please stay with us. James, let's look at the list now, the squad for the forward. Remember the controversy that surrounded the dropping of Joseph Paintsil.
Yeah.
Now, I think for emphasis, we need to say that the Black Stars camp will be opening today in Doha, and we told you earlier in our daily countdown that Ayew, of course, the captain, it will be the first to arrive at the camp because it's just in Qatar. So yeah, it will be very, very easy for him to just drop to Abu Dhabi. Now, James, if you are taking someone like Ousmane Boukari, now I'm talking about the forward now, Ousmane Boukari, he was a former teammate of our own Moses Simon at Nantes, then he left. Now, if you're picking someone like that, and you are dropping someone like Joseph Paintsil, I think it tells about all the allegations that have been put to the GFA and also Addo himself that there is a campaign behind, dropping of Joseph Paintsil. I'm just saying now because it's really, in quality, you can't compare these two. You can't compare Joseph Paintsil and Ousmane Boukari.
Well, sometimes when these coaches make this decision, you begin to imagine, what's the criteria? Because if you're talking about form, about performance, Paintsil have been doing very well.
Last weekend, he got another assist.
So I don't know. So
making it 7, I think about 7 assists and 5 goals. in 14 matches.
I mean, so it was so painful that he didn't, at the end of the day, make the squad. So we begin to like, what else will this guy do to convince the coaching crew that he merited a place in the squad? But as it is, at the end of the day, he didn't make the squad, and it's so sad. But the most important thing now is the guys who has picked. I mean, everything now is left with them now. You just have to go to the World Cup and perform for Ghana and also for Africa, because for you to be selected, it goes to show that you merited the selection, you know. So finally, when it comes to selection like this, team list, this is not the time coaches really enjoy, because you have a lot of explanations to do, you know. It's like questions will start flying in. Why did this guy make this list? Why is this guy not?
I think it is normal, because
yes.
Tite also faced that with
exactly.
Brazil.
Even the Brazil, yes, the Brazilian squad.
Yeah.
In terms of Jesus, somebody criticized him for picking Jesus and
even Gabriel Martinelli,
you know, and left a Gabi goal, or what's
even Firmino.
Exactly.
Firmino.
So all this is the period where coaches face a lot of criticism. So like I said, the forward have been picked. So it's now left for them to now go onto the pitch and do Ghana proud, because as it is now, there won't be any more excuses. Because for you to make the squad, I mean, it goes to show that you are good, and you have to prove why you are picked for this World Cup.
Okay, Kayode, quick one as we round up now. What do you think should be Otto Addo's message to this team now? It is here, finally, 26 players to represent a nation. Now, what do you think would be Otto Addo's message to this team now that you've been given an opportunity to represent Ghana? What do you think would be his message to them?
Quickly before I get into Otto Addo's mind, I am excited with some of the players I see on this list, Femi. Tariq Lamptey, we know what he has done with Brighton so far in the last 2 seasons, and he's a very, very exciting player. We saw him get that fine goal against Chelsea the other day, so he's going to be a sure banker. He's going to be a starter. The other player that people tend to...
Sorry, Kayode. You think he's going to start ahead of Dennis Odoi? Dennis Odoi plays for Club Brugge, right? Yeah. With our own Onyeka. And Dennis Odoi is experienced, though his older is 34. But I think if you ask me, I think I'll please Dennis Odoi.
I think, you know the good thing about Tariq Lamptey is that he plays like the modern wing back. He doesn't play like the traditional defender. He's an outlet for your attacking play. He's the kind of player that you know that he will always pump down that flank. And for you, if you are in search of goal, you need players like that who give you attacking options, even from their defensive positions. For me, I will pick a Tariq Lamptey, not because he plays in England. No. But because of the options that he gives you. If you want to play a back three, which Otto Addo is likely going to favor because of the three, of the Jiku, Salisu Mohammed, and the Amati trio that we've talked about. If he wants to play a back three, then we'll need fast wing backs, and that's where Tariq Lamptey comes in. So for me, I will play Tariq Lamptey ahead of Odoi, not because I'm not looking at any experience. I'm looking at what you can do on the day. What this boy has consistently done, Femi. On the other side of the defense, there's what they call this young man, Alidu Seidu. For those who are of a certain age, they will remember Frank Amankwa. This guy reminds me of Frank Amankwa at the right fullback position. Very, very athletic, very fast, also bombing forward from his position. He plays in France, and he's a player to look for me. Write down the name, Alidu Seidu. In the defense for them, very, very strong. And when you see him play, if you remember Frank Amankwa for the Black Stars in the 1992, 94, and I think 96 AFCON, you understand what I'm talking about when you see these players. Then of course we've talked about the central defensive pair. You put me on the spot the last time. You asked me who would be my favorite two, and I said I'll go with Mohamed Salisu
and Jiku.
Yes, I stand by that. If you're going to play a central defense pair of only 2 players, 5 and 6, I'll go with Alexander Jiku and Mohamed Salisu. They are both very, very intelligent. They are the modern defenders. They do not kick the ball the way an amateur kicks the ball. You understand? They play the ball out of defense. And when you are under pressure, you need players like that, Femi. They are the kind of players you need. You don't need players who kick in panic, because the moment you kick the ball in panic, you are sending it straight back to the opposition to to start another round of attack against you. In the middle of defense, this is where I think Ghana has their strength. And how far this team will do will depend on who and who plays in the heart of in the midfield. So for me, first of course, it's no brainer. Party who's going to be in that defense. You're going to be looking at a party. You're going to be looking at
Mohamed Kudus.
Kudus. You're going to look at Kudus. You're going to look at party. You are looking at what you want to play. If you want to, it depends on what you want to play. If you could bring in the captain, but it's not a done deal that he has to start. But if you need this experience, if you need this work rate, you will need at the point you will need him. There's a player that we have not looked too much towards, Femi. We have not allowed Kamaldeen Sulemana to play. He hasn't played as much as his talents indicates he can go. Femi, I wish you see that boy play and you make a decision on your own, the kind of player you think he is when you see him play. And then, of course, we talk about Dan, what's this guy called now? I want to remember his name. And it's one of my favorite players, Dan Tre.
Okay.
Dan Tre is the kind of player that will deliver on his day. He hasn't, for me, as far as I'm concerned, in the few games he has played for the national team, he has not disappointed. When you see a Dan Oji play, you understand. Then you also need the energy of Jordan Ayew. You need this energy. You need Kamaldeen Sulemana. Then what do you call this boy? Osman Bukari will do what he does for his club. Come in as a sub. No offense to anybody. You see these players I've mentioned, Femi. We need, and then there's this guy, I'm not sure you followed him this year, Femi, but I have. Salis Abdou-Samed, he plays for RC Lens in France. You need to see that boy play. When you see Salis Abdou-Samed play, you understand the kind of talent this team has. In fact, I fear for Addo. How does he
pick players?
These players together in order to see. Femi is not as bad as we are thinking. This Ghana team is not as bad as we are thinking. All they need is a rub of the green, luck, and a good result in their first game against them. If they are going to play well, they need to play without fear. They need to play without any complexity. They are there because they've earned their right to be at the World Cup. That's the first thing you have to think, to know, put at the back of your mindset, Femi, that we are here because we deserve to be here. We qualified. We are not here. We are not playing because, like a certain Nigerian club did. They went to the African.
I know you're going to be correct United into this.
They went to the bathroom. No, Ghana deserves to be at the World Cup, and that's why they're there. So they have to play without fear, without any complexity. They are playing against. Luckily, some of these players have played against Ronaldo. They've played against Pele. Jiku plays against Messi in the French league. Salisu plays against Ronaldo in the
Premier League.
So there's no complexity there, Femi. No fear. Once they are able to play without fear, without any complexity, any fear of inferiority complex, they have to be done halfway there. That's the first thing. The second thing is everybody should play for everybody, because nobody should say I want to be the star player. Kudus has done excellently well this season for Ajax. Let him transfer that form to the national team.
Okay, of course.
I see this team now, and I have a certain optimism that if they get a good result against Portugal, and I don't mean they should beat Portugal, but they don't have to beat Portugal to qualify them. That's one thing I want you to get. If they do not lose against Portugal, if they get a draw against Portugal, beat South Korea, there's nothing that says they cannot beat South Korea. Then take their chances against Uruguay. Uruguay today is not the Uruguay of 2010. They're not the Uruguay of 2014 or 2018. They are a blend of the old and the new, also a team in transition. They are Cavani and Suarez are playing their last game, so they are also trying to bring in younger players. They are on the same wavelength with Ghana.
All right, Kayode.
It's all about the mindset.
We'll subsequently have time to analyze the team, before Ghana's first game against Portugal on November 24th at the 974 Stadium in Qatar. James, quickly before we go, the producer is already telling us to round up now. Do you have any fear regarding the goalkeeping department?
Like I said before, that's the only area I feel the Black Stars is weak. Aside that, I think from the midfield, the defense, the forward, I think it's okay. It's a decent list, aside from the goalkeeping department.
Okay, so now we know where we are going. The 26-man list is out, and of course, we have a focus now. The camp opens today in Abu Dhabi, and the team will now know that, yes, the task has begun in earnest. This is where we'll be drawing the curtain on analyzing the 26-man list released by Otto Addo and, of course, the GFA. So tomorrow we'll continue our daily countdown. Of course, by tomorrow, there will have been a couple of reactions to this list. And, of course, we'll be bringing you everything that you need to know right here on Naija Super Fans Forum. Kade Ogundare, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for me. It's always a pleasure. I think finally, we are ready for the World Cup.
Of course. Now, James Agberebi, thank you for always being around.
Always a pleasure.
And to our producer, of course, we need to thank you for always putting up this video, editing, and putting everything in place every day for us to continue. And to our fans around the world, thank you for always staying true, because, of course, we are still monitoring development in the camp of other African countries that will be going to the World Cup, and we'll bring that to you as soon as they break. So until tomorrow, I remain Olúwafẹ́mi Aṣáálú. Bye for now.